In the beginning of time, liquid hot magma, an extremely dense liquid, also known as lava, rises to the Earth's crust, cools, and creates igneous rock. The igneous rock is spread throughout Canada. This layer of rock is called the Canadian Shield and is the base for all of Canada. The Canadian Shield also contains metamorphic rock, which is formed by heat and pressure. More magma rises to the Earth's crust and creates new rock on top of the Canadian Shield.
The rock that made up the Canadian Shield started out as a large mountain range. Along the bottom of the mountains, the lower lands were covered by shallow seas. Sediments were formed by weathering and erosion of the Canadian Shield. The tiny sediments that broke off of the Canadian Shield and fell and settled at the bottom of the shallow seas. Over time, layers of sediments are formed at the bottom of the seas. After many years, pressure on the tiny sediments caused these sediments to form into sedimentary rock.
Sedimentary rock is carried away from the sea floor and out of the water because the Canadian Shield is always rising. As the Canadian Shield rises, it pushes some of the sedimentary rock away. The east part of Canada was the first region to take its shape. Due to the extreme weight pushing against the earth, the sedimentary rock began to fold. This folding is created by very tall mountains, which are now known as the Appalachian Mountains. Over millions of years, these tall, jagged mountains transformed into gently rolling hills due to weathering and erosion.
Next to form in the west were the Rocky Mountains. They were created when two of the Earth's tectonic plates smashed together and the Rocky Mountains were born. They are currently the highest mountains in Canada. Some parts of Canada did not experience enough force to create mountains, therefore remaining flat. Some examples of these places are the interior plains, the Hudson Bay lowlands, and the St. Lawrence Great Lake lowlands. The Ice Age was the last thing that occurred during the geologic history of Canada. As the climate grew colder, snow fell on the ground. Layers of snow were compacted and formed glaciers. The glaciers moved very slowly and the earth beneath was scraped away. All the sediments that the glaciers had scraped away were left behind after the glaciers melted.
Canada is one of the most diverse countries in the world with lots to see and always more to discover.